So yes, we are here at EIAS Ecophone International Acoustic Seminar in Tylösand, and I'm Emma Arvidsson. I work in R&D and Innovation Department at Ecophone. And I'm sitting here with Andrew Wade.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So please tell us, who are you?
I am an acoustician from South Africa, born and bred. I spent some time in England, but I've been back in South Africa now for about 13 years, trying to bring the world of acoustics back into South Africa a bit.
Okay, great. And you had a speech yesterday
Yes.
about acoustic design in offices,
Yeah.
not using standards.
Yes.
What's
Well, not using regulations, not being forced to use regulations.
Yeah.
We use standards, but we have no enforceable regulations for any of our projects, really, for building acoustics. So we get to make the rules up as we go, making sure that we focus our project on what the end users want, rather than what some set of rules or regulations maybe say that they should want, and customize to what they need. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Do you see any challenges with this approach?
Yes.
Yeah.
So our main challenge is just educating the economy and educating the clients on something that they need, whereas in the past maybe they haven't done it before, and so they don't have the budget for it or they haven't allowed for it, and then it's something we need to add on later, and then it seems to cost the project money rather than being something that's part of the design from the start. So that's probably the hardest part of it, is convincing anybody that it even exists and should matter.
But would you say that it actually could be an advantage from the efficiency point of view, like in cost and time, to actually have this approach instead?
It is. Once we've convinced the client, we find that usually that client comes back again because they've seen the benefit. But the challenge for, especially the first few years, so we started back in South Africa in 2010, and the first 4 or 5 years maybe was a big challenge trying to convince design teams that it was actually something useful, and that it was something that could contribute to the end users, and for our end users to understand that this benefited them holistically and helped them work better, or helped them teach better, or helped them do whatever they were trying to do in the building better. And that then was a spend that they were willing to make, rather than just a cost to add onto the project.
So what's the most common project you have in terms of, is it because they have a problem already, or have you been able to convince them to work on it already in
Yeah, we used to have a lot of problems to fix. These days we much more work on a project to build. And we much prefer working on projects to build rather than problems to fix. Especially since one of the main problems we normally have is one of privacy or confidentiality in a building. And to fix that afterwards is incredibly difficult. You have to redesign, rebuild, redo. And there is no budget normally for that. Once the project's finished, they can't do that. So luckily, most of the time now, we are building something for them. So not many of our projects now are fixing mistakes. Most of them now are building something correct. And many of our clients are someone that we helped in the past fix a problem, and they've gone, we'll never do it again without considering acoustics as part of the base build. We're going to do it, as part of the foundation of the design, which I think is what's helped.
Yeah, that's great. That's excellent. So a final question. If we think about countries where we normally use quite a lot of regulations instead of designing that, what would your recommendation be to architects and acousticians in those countries?
Come to South Africa. No, I mean, I think the one thing that I've found, having worked in both of those environments, is that it's very easy to lose track of why you're doing the design that you're doing, and just doing compliance work, where you are meeting a set of rules and you just do what you did last time. I think it's really important that we try and keep our eyes on the end users and what they actually are going to use the building for, and why we're doing this project, and who is actually going to use the space and what their needs are, and to try and design towards that. Obviously, if you have rules that you have to comply with, that's part of your design framework, and you have to do your compliance work. But to try and keep your mind on the idea that there are people that are going to use this space and you need to design it for them while also ticking the boxes and doing the paperwork that you maybe are used to doing anyway.
So keep in mind why we actually are there.
Yes, exactly. And who's going to use the space? Have you ever met them? Have you ever talked to them? You know, do you even know who they are? That's something that I really enjoy, is that we get forced to do that. We have to, because otherwise we have no basis for the design. So we are forced to meet with the people who are going to use the space and discuss the issues with them and what's working now and what can they do. And that's something that, you know, I think would benefit all designs. And it's very easy to forget to do that if you have a recipe of what you have to do. Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you so much for contributing to EIAS and for sharing your thoughts and experience.
Yeah, no, thank you. It's really good being here. We've had a great time. It's a lovely venue as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, and thank you very much for inviting us. It's been great.
Yeah, it was great to have you here.
Yeah,
thank you.
Thank you.